Hi guys, so welcome to my new channel. I think I'm going to go over everything that I find interesting, from engineering to games to watches and different types of repair, mostly educational stuff. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is finish up this project that I've been doing for about a month now, and finish the restore on this converted Neo Geo. I've been trying to do this on a budget. So far, I think I'm about $500 in total with the machine and parts and stuff like that. So we're going to start off with that. So a little bit of history about the machine. I'll show you where it's at, what still needs to be done. This is a converted Neo Geo from a Bally cabinet. The original game was Ashton's Belt, so from 1983, I think. Anyway, when I got it, it was in pretty rough shape. Of course, I got it cheaply. So the first thing that I did was I started working from the top and went to the bottom. New marquee. This piece of metal was completely rusted, this grate. So I sanded it all down, primed, painted it, and everything like that. New T-molding. I went for silver. Of course, this is not going to be any type of like factory restore. So it's not going to resemble any type of cabinet. And then I went down and I started on the control panel. So actually first, before that, this is the third marquee that's been in here. The original marquee they painted black because it was a conversion. I actually still have those over here. So that was the original marquee that was in there, and then I ordered one, but it broke in shipping. So I asked the seller to send out another one, and I got the Bust Moves one, which I actually kind of like better. It's more colorful and more stuff going on, and it looks really good when it's lit up in it. I think it was new old stock because it didn't look like anything it's been installed in anything. So the monitor is actually pretty good. I'll show you that in a minute. But I completely redid the control panel. It did have a Neo Geo vinyl put on it, but it was falling off, and it was just completely disgusting. Looked like somebody spilled soda or something, and it got underneath this this plastic piece here, which is kind of sad. So, of course, there's different holes underneath here. That's why there's this piece of plastic. It was clear before, but I completely painted this with a little bit of Rust-Oleum, primed it, everything like that. This is all enamel, so it should last quite a while. And then this piece of plastic I completely sanded and then used a plastic-based white paint to go over it. So it matches the colors. It's not going to be anywhere near original, but it's a lot cheaper than getting like a $70 overlay to put on it. So it's still missing 2 screws. I have them all done. I just have to put them in. I sanded down the old carriage bolts and painted them red with the same enamel paint, so it breaks it up a little bit. 1 player, 2 player. I got these off of eBay, I think, for like $20, so not too bad. Whoever installed the conversion soldered all the old connections, so I redid all of those. I'll show you those in a future video when I clean up the rest of the wiring, because I have it right now. It's playable, but it still needs a lot of work. So that's the control panel. And then on the sides, of course, since it was in a different game, somebody painted the old vinyl black and then used the conversion sticker, which was right about here, but it was really bad. All the paint was chipping because they just went over the vinyl. So I took off all the old vinyl, which came off pretty easily, actually, because the glue was worn. And I painted it red, color matched with an enamel paint, which was like $20, so not too bad. And I think it looks pretty good. Actually, this part here was coming out, so I had to drill new holes and reattach this side. So, like I said, it wasn't in the best condition, but all the electronics worked, so I didn't have to mess around too much with that. I'll show you what I had to do so far. Everything down here, the only thing that I think I still need to do to the sides is that I made a vinyl that actually has the boat from Metal Slug. So the main reason why I got one of these was for Metal Slug. So I did that, and then I still need to put an order for that to be printed. And then back here, I have to paint the rest of this. So all of this needs to be painted. And still little bits of vinyl that I still need to remove. But other than that, I think aesthetically, most of it's done. Inside, the monitor is actually in pretty good shape. I still need to redo some of the caps on it, but it is bright. Curve inches is good. Everything is good like that. And then down here, I am going to put on a new power cord. I have it here already. I just have to solder it in. And everything else looks pretty good. So not too much that I have to worry about there. The motherboard itself had a lot of problems, so I had to go through and fix that. The first thing that I did was to remove the battery. So actually, if you use the same battery chemistry, just a larger amperage, it's fine. So I used a nickel cadmium battery because that's what the original chemistry of the battery was, and solder those on. So I'm keeping that away from the board, so if it ever leaks in the future and I sell this to somebody that doesn't know anything about electronics, it will be fine. Now, this is just the one slot Neo Geo, so it's one of the older ones. It's the big fat one. And I put in a multi-cart. Most of the games on it work. There are one or two which I can show that don't work, but most of them do work, which is good. Let me see, anything else? I have to redo all of these grounding straps because they're not really, whoever did the conversion didn't reconnect them, and then this wiring mess here I'll have to clean up a little bit more. But everything on here looks pretty decent. It plays, and so not too bad. Let me show you from the front. So I still have to redo the coin door. Somebody put in a security bolt, this little thing here. And then, so I puttied those back up. There you can see the board, it's all clean and nice and shiny, so that's good. I just use 91% alcohol to clean up all the mess. Like I said, this piece of metal up here, it all came down they must have left this open, and it all came down and it was piling up in here, so there's a lot of nastiness on that board. But now it's all clean. Luckily, I didn't have to mess around with it too much. There are one or two bad solder joints on it, but other than that, everything's fine. That's about it for the actual board. I'm going to remove these and repaint this whole thing black when I do the back at the same time, because I don't like to space out painting that much. As for the coin door, so the coin door, there was a couple problems that I'll have to fix. Most of these springs are broken on these. They still work, which is surprising, but both of the eject buttons don't spring back. And then I'm going to put in these new 25-cent to play markers on there. Now, somebody did put on new locks, but whatever they did to the bottom door here, I had to drill it out because it was hitting the coin box on the side, which I couldn't get it open, so I couldn't get to anything. So I had to drill that out. So I'm just gonna hit this with a wire brush quickly and then just spray paint the rest of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it red or if I'm going to go back to black, so I kind of want a little bit of input on that. Let's see what else needs to be done. Alright, well, I can power it up and we can see how it runs. What's interesting about this cabinet is that I don't know if it was original, but it does have a switch on the top. So right here, and powering up right now. And so if you haven't gotten one of these multi-carts, see if I can get it to run, maybe. There we go. If you haven't got one of these multi-carts, how it works is that it first boots up into here, and then you can go through all of the games that are on there. Now, what was really disappointing is that one of my favorite games is Blazing Star, and this game does not like to run that much. It tends to freeze up and then it starts rebooting over and over again. But luckily, all the Metal Slug games work. When I bought it, it came with Art of Fighting, but I'm terrible at fighting games, so I'm not a big fan of them that much. I can barely get past like the second guy in most of them. But the game starts, and then you can usually play for a little bit, and then it just crashes. So that's one of the problems. There are a couple games on the multi-cart that's like this. I don't know if it's just because of the board that I have, or if it's because of how it runs. But see, I'll put some credits in there. I just set it to give me 9 credits. Haven't put on a free play yet, but it works. And all the colors are good and everything like that. So let me see if I can get it to crash quickly. Anyway, so when you want to return to the menu of games, of course you'll lose all your credits. So if you're putting this in a public place, I guess you should just say that like if you play a game and you have one of these multi-carts in, I don't even know if it's legal, but who cares? It's 20 years old. Other games that are like that don't work on, at least on my cart, I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me see. I think that one and where is it? Luckily, like I said, all the Metal Slugs work, which is great, and it has all the extra ones. Think. Let me see. It's the last game in here. One of these. I don't know. There's like 4 or 5 different games, but you can choose whatever you want. Another thing that I've noticed is that on the attract mode, it likes to run through it once and then it will reboot and then continue. So, not sure how to fix that. The normal game works well on that. And then I think that's about it. So, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the cabinet. And then after that, just finish up the coin door and tidy it up, and it'll be all set. So hopefully won't have to spend more than $500 on it total for its restoration. And then that's about it. This thing weighs about 550 pounds, so getting it down into the basement is kind of tough, but whatever. It runs well. It is pretty loud. There are 2 speakers on there. So yeah, if you enjoy it, subscribe, like, whatever. If you have any comments or ideas on what color I should do the coin door itself. I do have all the riveting equipment, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the Bally marquee on the front or whatever this is, because it's pretty beat up, as you can see. But after I have it all cleaned up, it should be all right. Yeah, see, now it's just rebooting, and it's going to continue doing the demo, which can be annoying, but I never really run it long enough for it to be bad. I'm not putting this in a public place, so just for a little bit of fun. All right, see you guys. Bye.